Okay then, just to summarise what we've looked at today, let's go back through the process of drug testing. Now, as we said, it's inevitable at all stages that animals are tested on in this country at the present moment. Basic facts, okay? The UK law both requires and regulates experiments on animals at all times in this country. Now, you may think to yourself, why do them? But remember, the scale of animal testing is very, very diverse, isn't it? It's looking at your new mascara, your new shampoo, all the way up to cancer drugs. And can we really group all animal testing in the same bag? It's a question I want to put to you. Any new drug, every single drug that is tested in this country has to go through at least 2 different species of live mammals. Okay? One of these can be a rodent, but the other has to be a large mammal. So we're looking at a horse, a dog, a cat possibly, a large mammal. And the question has to be asked, of course, who gives us the right to do this? Why do we have the right to be able to test on these creatures? They don't have a choice or a decision. They didn't have a monkey parade and they put your hands up. Put your hands up who wants to have their heads chopped off. Didn't happen, did it? We chose. We made this happen. The reality, as we saw on the video, I'll give you the YouTube link later, but the reality can be quite shocking. Really can. Now, let's go back through your view on animal testing. 41 of you out of 43 said you were against animal testing. Only 2 of us said that animal testing we thought was a sensible and rational idea. However, there's always 2 sides to every single coin, isn't there? And what we did then, we looked at the other side of the coin, which portrayed a very, very different picture. Now, they always use children. They always use children for motive issues. It's not just children, is it? It's adults and it's the elderly. Drugs have to be tested. Fact. They have to be tested. How do we test these drugs? Alternative? Do we have the alternatives? Yes, we do. As every single alternative that we have, more than a reason to ditch using animals? Many scientists would say not. So, here's a quote from a father. You had a child. Your child is dying. You know there are scientists out there who have abolished experiments on animals which could have possibly saved her life, his life. What would you do? Animal testing is filthy. Animal testing is disgusting. Animal testing is unethical. It's immoral. But does animal testing have a point? That is the question I'm asking you. Is there a point to it? Is it a very difficult point? Is it a very dangerous point sometimes? But is it a point that has to come across? What is the right answer? I don't think there is a right answer. What is the right decision? Maybe there's not a right decision. But scientists and policymakers have to make these decisions every single day of their lives. Almost every single medical treatment you have used has been tested on animals. Almost every single one of them. At some point in the past, maybe not now, but 20 years ago it certainly would have been. Animals were used to develop anesthetics, okay? They killed pain during operations. These anesthetics would have been tested on animals a long time ago. Was that a right thing to do? Animal testing has helped to develop vaccines. Rabies, polio, measles, mumps, rubella, TB. You can look for the information on the website. Maybe it wasn't the full responsibility for these vaccines, but it did play a part. And we can't deny that. Antibiotics, HIV drugs, insulin, cancer treatments. These ongoing tests rely on animal testing. It's not ethical, but what do we do in this situation? Many antibiotics were developed as a result of animal testing. Many antibiotics. Antibiotics have saved millions and millions and millions of human lives around the world. Which animals are used? Well, in the UK, the data speaks for itself. It's mainly rodents. But then you have to ask yourself the question, what price of life? Does it matter because an animal is larger and bigger and more furrier and cuter looking with bigger eyes? Does that give him more of a right to life than a small insignificant mouse? Does it really? Should those make you feel better because it's only rodents? Or should it matter at all? The 3 R's. Now obviously scientists out there are trying to look at other ways. Replacement, using alternative methods, alternative ways of testing would be the ideal. We don't want to do animal testing. It's a bad idea. Of course it is. Test on cell cultures in vitro, reduce it. Using statistics to reduce the number of animals that have to be tested. Reduce the suffering at all times. And refinement. How do we improve and refine these experiments so in the future not so much has to take place? Difficult decisions. It is very, very, very easy to sit on the fence when talking about animal testing and say, I don't really know, or I think it's a bad idea, or I think it's a good idea. It's a very difficult decision, and if it's placed in your laps, what would you do? What would you do? Okay then, so we looked at the testing process. We looked at drug development by pharmaceutical companies. We looked at LD50 toxicity tests, animal testing, and of course, sooner or later, what's going to have to happen is the tests have to go onto humans, don't they? They have to be tested on humans. And we looked at the two different types of tests. So we have a blind test and a double-blind test. Remember, in the blind test, you are not aware of what is happening yourself. You're not aware of the drug that you're taking. I am. In the second test, with double-blind, obviously I do not know myself what you are taking. My assistant does, I do not, and you do not. And that will eliminate any bias on my behalf. Now I'm going to finish there and hope that you have a very, very restful next 12 hours. Nothing too unpredictable or untoward plops out, shall we say. I'll see you next lesson. Thanks very much.